Good afternoon, dear traders. This is Alex Gerchik, and today is our third webinar. And probably this is one of the most important webinar because everybody talks about levels, prices, charts, and everything else. But everybody who's trading, they know this is probably the last thing to understand: charts and everything else. The first thing to understand, obviously, it's psychological problems. What are the traders and why are they losing money? So today I made a short presentation just to show you what we have in the company, why I think people losing money, and what needs to be done in order to stay in business for a long time. A short presentation, then I will show to you and tell you a little bit story about myself, how and why I survive in the business. I've been trading from 1996 for almost 20 years. So obviously there's a reason to listen. As you can see, what are the major issues in trading? I mean, people can say, we understand this, we don't understand that, but that's not what it is. The most important things in trading, it's emotions. Everybody knows, everybody have, and everybody knows that this will and can lead to losses. Let's talk about this a little bit more. Unfortunately, everybody knows and everybody understands this 90% and more sometimes than 90% of the traders, they lose money. There's a bunch of books been written about the psychological problems, why people losing money, what problems they have. And everybody understands that this is emotions problems. What's the emotions? I mean, you sit in a trade, you think it can go higher, it can go lower, your stop can be smaller, your stop can be wider. I mean, it's a bunch of different things. And that's why not that many traders have survived. Because most of the time, the trader has to fight only with one person, it's himself. That's the major problem. Basically, I'll tell you a little story for myself, and you will understand. The question is what to do. Now I'll stop the presentation. I'll tell you a little story. When I came to the business in 1996, I came into a trading firm in 1998. It's been basically a huge company with a lot of traders, thousands of traders. The company used to be named WorldCom. I remember I came to the industry, and when everybody trades, I remember I spoke to my boss, and he said one thing. He said, "Alex, I cannot control how much can you make. I mean, you can make millions, tens of millions of dollars. You can make any amount of money, but I can control your losses." And I know one thing for a fact: if your loss is going to be in control, then you're not going to have any emotional problem. Why? Because if you know there's something or some system or somebody is controlling your losses, you're taking this from yourself and you don't have that problem. So I remember we had a risk management. It was an automated software which would cut it down any trader who is losing more than they agree with the firm. And also we had a physical risk manager who used to be an ex-Marine officer. I mean, we were always afraid of him. And I remember if you would lose more money than you're supposed to, he used to come, cut you down, close your computer, and say, I don't know anything about the trading, but I know all about the numbers. If my boss told me about that, you can lose only, let's say, $100 a day, $500 a day, or $1,000 a day. That's it. Your day is over. You cannot trade any longer, and you would just go home, think about analyzing what you did wrong. And I tell you honestly, that's why I've been surviving the business for 20 years, because I had the risk management who would take away all my emotional problems. I mean, obviously, everybody understands that it's extremely hard to deal with the emotions, extremely hard. I mean, we're all humans, we all have hearts, emotions. I mean, you had fight with your wife, you come to office when you trade, you have a problem. I mean, you have a problem in your house, the water leak or anything else, you get nervous, boom, it's a problem again. You have a problem with your kids, it's a problem again. You have a problem with your parents, it's a problem again. Let's say Euro did not go your way, you get nervous, it goes away from you. So in order basically to fix that problem, the question is what to do. And the only solution that we have It's a risk manager. It's an automated software, and that's what I will talk about for the next 10 minutes, just to tell you what we have. When we basically begin our company, we start to realize that the risk manager, that's what all traders need. Everyone needs that. Why? Because it will take emotional problems from every single trader. So we design a risk manager software. That's exactly how it looks. That's exactly how it looks. I will make it a little bit bigger so you'll know and you'll see. Every single trader must have a risk manager. It's either can be in dollars or in percents. We have both. That's how the risk manager system looks. Every single trader who basically want to have a risk manager would fill all the lanes for the fields and understand what exactly they need. Let's go with the risk management in dollars. You put in a risk per trade or risk per day. Usually you know exactly how many trades you need in order, if for example, you're losing, and how much money can you lose maximum per day. You need to know this because most of the time people start to fight against each other and start to lose more and more and more. I'm sure many of you who's watching this video lost a lot of money just because you did not have a risk manager, and you know one thing for a fact. You had you feel like it's affecting you, and you start losing. You do 5 trades, and 10 trades, and 20 trades, and 30 trades, and you keep losing money, because you cannot fight with your emotions. Most of the people, they're extremely weak, and trading will show them exactly their weakness. So in order to avoid a problem, you just put the risk per trade. Let's say you put the risk per trade $25 or $2 or $250 or $2,500. Everything is depend on your risk tolerance and on your deposit. Let's say you lost $25 in one trade. If you cannot close your position, the system will automatically close your position, and you would not have any problems with your emotions. Of course, then you have to have a risk per day. Risk per day, usually it's a percentage per day from amount of money that you have in your account. Let's say you have here $70. So if you, let's say, have 3 losing trades, one after another and another, system would cut you down, you would close your position, and that's it. You go home. Because as I said before, most of the time, you cannot control your losses. And you cannot control your losses not because you're stupid, not because you're bad, just because it's extremely hard to fight with emotions. I've been in the business for this year. It's 20 years that I've been in a trading business, and the only one thing I know that you only can control your losses. You cannot control how much can you make, because you can make a lot of money. You can make 100% per day, 200% per day. That's not what scares the people. Scares the people when they cannot control their losses. Risk on the daily profit. That's a very, very amazing part, because as you know, everybody who's watching us today, they know one thing for a fact, that most of the time you do make money, and then you think you can make more, and you start losing money, and a lot of times you do give away all the money you made per day, and sometimes you even go deeper into the losses. So what the risk on a daily profit will give it to you. If you make, let's say, more than a certain amount of money, you can put any risk per day. Let's say if you in this picture right here, see right here, if you made more than $100, your risk is $50. What does it mean? If you made $100, the least what you can go home with, it's a $50. So once basically you made $100 and then lost $50, system will cut you down totally. Or let's say you put $200. It means only when it goes above $200, when you lose $80 from your risk, the system will also cut you down, and you're not going to be able to lose all the money that you made. That's a very amazing part. You obviously have to have a risk per week. And a risk per week, it has to be the number. You have to have a risk per week. Obviously, for one simple reason, you have to know maximum amount of money. How much can you, let's say in this case it's in dollars, how much can you lose before you're going to stop trading? Because a lot of times, sometimes you start losing money, you can't stop, and you start losing, and you cannot stop. So in this case, you have a risk per week, you lost $200, and that's it. The system will cut you down, and you will take a few days off. You'll realize, analyze what you did wrong, what position, why are you lost, and everything else. You have to have a risk per month. So sometime, if you have risk per week $200, and you lead to the risk per month, and you lost another $400, the system will cut you down, and you'll take time out. I'm sure everybody who's going to watch this video, and I hope the more people is going to watch this video, the better you're going to have and better you're going to be. You'll understand one thing for a fact, that if your losses are in control, you're always going to make money. It's just a matter of time. Then the next lane, max amount of unprofitable trades per day. Usually it's 3, you can take 5, you can take anything you want, but you have to have that number. Max amount of unprofitable trades per week. This is just a hypothetical numbers. You can have any numbers you want, obviously, any numbers you want, but you have to have those numbers. You see, right here, what's considered to be is an unprofitable trade. As you see, a risk per trade is $25, but trades is considered unprofitable when the losses are more or equal any amount of dollars. You see, in this case, is a $5. Locking, you are allowed or you're disallowed locking. You know, some people trade with locks, some people don't trade with locks. We have right here risk management in dollars, and now is the next scenario, risk management in percent. That's what most of the time the traders do. They make risk management in percent. Obviously, everything is come to the risk management per trade, per day, from the amount of dollars that you have in your deposit. So let's say if you have risk per trade 1%, and you have a deposit of $1,000, your risk per trade is at $10, and the risk per day in this case is at $30. So risk per trade in the percentage, you can have 0.5%, 0.3%, 1%, and have risk per day, let's say 3%, 4 or 5, as much as you want. Then you have a risk per daily profit. So let's say if you made more than 5% per day, your risk is no more than 50%, you are giving it away. That's what it is. And if, let's say, you made 7% per daily profit, you cannot give it away more than 40%. In this case, risk per week is 10%, risk per month 20%. What else I want to tell you about it? The beautiful part about the risk management, it's, let's say, for example, you're working in a team accounts, it's a PAM accounts with the risk management. And you will show the system to your investor. In this case, the beautiful part is you can have this as your trader, or you're an investor, or you're a manager. So basically, in this case, the most amazing part that you have an agreement with your investor, and your investor see the number, and he doesn't have to trust you, he has to trust the system. So in this case, you can say, you see the beautiful part, Mr. Jones, that's if I lost more than a certain amount of money, let's say $10 or $20 or $50, the system will cut me down. Most of the time, all investors are afraid to give money for one simple reason. They're afraid that you're going to lose the money and you're not going to be able to control yourself. That's what it is. So in this case, you have to know, and you have to tell your investor that he doesn't have to worry about that you're gonna use your emotion and lose money. You see right here also risk per month and the max amount of unprofitable trades per day. As I said, you can have any numbers you want. Max amount of unprofitable trades per week. Trade is considered unprofitable when losses are more than a certain amount. You see? The beautiful part, I like this picture. Traders have no stress when you do under the risk management. Investors sleeps well. Everybody in this scenario are extremely happy. Now, as I said, I want to just conclude myself about everything else. As I said, I've been in the business for 20 years, and I saw and I teach a lot of traders who lost money, not because they were bad traders. There's a lot of traders that are good in trading. You can make money, and you can make a lot of money. But the stress, emotions, and everything else will definitely lead you to losses. My advice to you, come to a Gerchik company, put yourself just to try a risk management software. You see that your life it is going to change drastically. You're going to trade like a professional trader, because the most important thing is to be in control. You don't have to worry about your emotions here. You're just going to control your losses, and the system is going to control for you not to give it away on the part of your losses. And I'm sure you're not going to have any problem. As I said, the most amazing part is to have a risk management software. And in our company, we're basically fighting for our traders not to lose money. It's been Alexander Gerchik, and I presented to you today a risk management software. I'm sure you're going to like it. If you have any questions, please write us, and we'll be more than happy to answer it all. Trades without losses leads to profits. Make money, enjoy yourself as a trader, and take away your stress. Trades with the Gerchik Co, and use the risk management. All the best, and it's been Alexander Gerchik. Thank you very much.